next in for us today, we have got Geoff Pine. I'm going to grab the screen while we introduce Geoff. And Geoff is the granddad for Actions to Wealth. He's been around now for about 470 years, I think it is.
It's close.
He trades a particular strategy which goes particularly well in ranges, but also his strength is market analysis. And we're going to hand over to Geoff now to have a run through some currency charts with him.
Cheers, mate. Lloyd, you've got to be very, very brave to pound a bear, mate. I got it. I'm not sure everyone else did, but I got it. Well done. I'm going to start with, and I'm going to, yes, mate. No question? Okay. I'm going to start with Swiss yen. And I've got a question straight away from all, or for all of you fundamentalists in the room. Where does the Swiss National Bank generally intervene when their currency gets a little bit too overvalued? And I'll take that on board from anybody who wants to answer it. But what I see on the charts right now is a double top on a daily chart. What I see on the weekly chart is probably more than a double top. And what I see on the monthly chart is a level through here that is rarely breached. And just before we had the decoupling of the Swissy and the yen, and the euro rather, which is this bar here, we hadn't been above that for the longest time. Of course, we didn't spend too much time above there either, I've got to say, once we did get back in this incredible move that we saw on the 1st of January 2015. So my contention is that we're probably at a point that this pair needs to have a little bit of a bounce, and the bounce, to my mind, would be to the downside. So I'd like to have a little bit of confirmation around that with what the Swiss National Bank actually do when their currency gets overvalued. And are we at that point? That's probably the question I've got for the fundamentalist people. It's not going to, yeah.
My thought on that, and again, you're talking back when I was young, this is a long time ago, but my recollection is that the Swiss are pegged to the euro, and that that is the one that, because it's their local competition, if you like. The Swiss are in export markets, and they're competing with the euro now. Around the time that the Swiss intervened in the market, the Japanese intervened in the market. I think actually before them, just not to quite the same degree. And I'm just trying to get back in my charts to get a picture of this. But yeah, so Euro Swiss 120 they were protecting, and I think you can make a case that it's possible that there's been some protection of it since. But you know, I think trauma from events sits pretty hard, and it's Euro Swiss, Helen. Yeah, it was Euro Swiss. Trauma from events sits pretty high with people and lasts a long time. And the last time the Swiss intervened in the currency market, the consequences were dreadful for them. The wife of their Swiss bank governor was jailed for insider trading on the move. The first of the first, they picked it crazy. They they uncoupled at a time when there was no market depth. And I've often said this, we're very, very lucky on that one that we just didn't get hurt. Everyone got hurt, and we were lucky.
Yeah, anybody who didn't was lucky, probably.
Yeah, I mean, because it was pegged at 120, everybody had longs at 120 at 120.20 with a stop loss straight below. So as soon as they took the peg away, it just ran all the stop losses. And the bigger places obviously had stop losses a long way down, because that thing got down
and took them to a place where they never thought they'd be. Yeah.
Yeah, look, and they've never managed to protect 120 since, and I don't know if I could see them. Well, they won't be coming out. I mean, it's very common. Well, not very common. It's reasonably common for central banks to manipulate currency markets in the background, but I can't see the Swiss coming out and saying that they're doing the same thing. And again, the yen move often gets forgotten because it wasn't quite so chaotic, but they did also do the same thing.
Okay, interesting. Apart from all of that, I get, and I guess what you're saying is this is not likely to be an intervention point.
To be honest, I don't think it needs to be, right? You've got a brilliant level there, right?
Mhm.
So I think it stands up without too much intervention from the Swiss National Bank. Now, the Swiss bank may operate like the Singapore bank, where they do interfere a little bit, and if they do, there may be some interference here, but it won't be that kind of interference. We won't be seeing. I don't think we'll be seeing that kind of public statement where we're pegging. It's going to blah blah blah, unlimited resources to defend it, which they didn't in the end have. I think they might be in the back. They might be in the background manipulating price around here, but they won't be outwardly saying that. I don't think. And again, that's more of a Julian topic. But I'd be surprised if they came out with a statement like that, having been absolutely humbled and embarrassed last time and not being able to hold it. I'd be surprised if it was such an overt move from them, you know.
Okay, cool. I really didn't need any confirmation that I've got a technical pattern here, but I thought it'd be nice to just enlighten myself on that particular part of the world that I know very little about in terms of what they're likely to do when a currency gets to a certain level. So here's the upshot of it all, and that level I've just shown you, to my mind, is pertinent, and therefore I expect to bounce off it. Have we started? That is the question, and the double top here suggests to me that perhaps we have, and this bar here, which is very, very interesting one for me, because it is a lower high, potentially, it's not there yet, but potentially it's a lower high that has refused to go above, or close above certainly, the monthly and weekly pivot. Actually, I normally do this where the weekly pivot will be tomorrow. But I see this candle here as eminently tradable, frankly. I want to see what happens in the morning, of course. If there's a big gap in the market, I'll probably change my mind. But if there's no gap in the market tomorrow, and I know it's a big bar, but I can totally see myself entering the market if price gets there, and a stop loss above there makes a bit of sense to me, with a bit of profit around about that level. So that's kind of what I'll be thinking tomorrow on Swissy yen. And if there's no intervention, then happy days. We're on target for what we would like to see. Now, my analysis last week was kind of interesting. I was a euro bear, and I was holding pounds long positions. Oh my God, could I have been any more wrong? Probably not. But guess what? I'm still the same. Nothing's changed in my bias point of view. This is EURCAD, and EURCAD, to my mind, is similar to a lot of the euro pairs, where we've had a big run up, and we've also had a little bit of a kick off the top, if you like. The question mark now is, with this descending channel that I've got here, is that going to be faithful to the bulls? And the bulls have already broken out of the top of that, as you can see on the daily chart. But my mind still goes back to the bigger picture. And if you're of a mind that the longer is the stronger, it's very, very similar to the Swissy yen chart that I've just shown you, where we've got long-term rejections of a level, and we are at that level again. So my bias, of course, tells me that we're going to bounce off here, even if we retrace, like 20%, 30%, 40%, or whatever number you choose. We're going to get a little bit of a trading opportunity down here. So every time we've got to this level, and I haven't measured it, but why not do that? Makes sense to me. We have a deep retracement, and there's another one, and I'm expecting another one. Whether it is faithful, if you like, to the trend, or otherwise, still gives us plenty of room to retrace. So I'm of the opinion that this is the potential short. If I go a little bit wider, you can see that those peaks there have driven this down on many occasions. So I maintain that particular stance on EURCAD, and I don't see any reason to change that at all. The wider I go, the more I just see this level, and the more I see that trend line, and the more I see we're coming back to it. So as far as trading it's concerned, have a look at the daily chart there. That massive double top that we've seen on the daily charts, I expected to go a lot quicker, I've got to say. I expected that we go bang down here very, very quickly, down to the 143 mark. Haven't done that, and that kind of gives me a little bit of doubt. It does put a little bit of doubt in my mind, but and I think I was called, well, I don't think I was calling this a Batman mask potential, and I think that's still there, but Batman's ears are just protruded out the side of his mask, if you like. So I'm still a bear. And until this double top's taken out, I'll probably remain that way. If it's still going, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to go there now, of course. But whatever those double tops are in place, that's a massive signal to me. And I think that signal is still to the short side. So EURCAD short for me. And all the euros are pretty much the same. I'm still of the opinion that the euro is coming off. And if you look at it against the dollar, it has bounced off a major trend line. But these pairs are also giving me a very interesting signal that I like to trade often. And it's my version of Three Little Indians. And we talk about ranges often. I don't have the range on this chart, but it's probably in here somewhere. It could go a little bit higher if you wish. But when I see a break to the high side, that's false, followed by a break to the high side, that's false, followed by a break to the high side, that's false. To me, that's going to break short. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. That candle there interests me somewhat on the daily chart. Again, I'll look for gaps in the morning. And if I see them, then I'll probably have a little bit of a rethink. But that to me is a chart that's screaming at me, this is going short. Now, I'm not saying it's going short forever, but I am saying that it will break this rectangle short. And you can see reject, 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 reject. What makes me think that's going long? Not a lot, I've got to say, right now. So the level I see this going to is probably around here somewhere. That looks sensible to me, around about the 106 mark. So I'll be looking for that to trade this week as well. As I said, I was bearish the euro last week and didn't even get a look in, frankly. It just kept going to the high side. That happens. The good part is we didn't waste too much money on it. The third one I want to look at, and I've been avoiding the dollar, trading against or even with the dollar for the longest time. And I do see that there's a possibility that the dollar can rally to 95 on the dollar index, if you like. That's kind of where I see it, but I've been saying that for the last, I don't know how long, maybe 2 months, something like that. But the most incredible thing about the dollar, to my mind, is that it doesn't play the same game with the yen that it plays with everything else. And that intrigues me. It really does. But trying to work it out and trying to trade it is another story altogether. And I'd love to, if Bali was on this year, that would have been my prime target, is to sit down with the likes of Julian or Justin and have a yarn about why this yen versus the dollar is so intrinsically different to any other currency versus the dollar. But what I see here on dollar yen is quite interesting. We've got this big bar here, which is the dominant bar on the entire chart, frankly, that's got, I think it was 9 or 10 days that are inside that bar to the left, and definitely 10 bars to the outside of it, or to the future side of it, if you like, that are also engulfed by that very bar. Now, that's a range in its own right, of course. And if you really want to count these, which aren't really inside, but you can go back to about 19 or 20 bars inside that bar right there. So this is, in my mind, a range that will burst. It won't just leak. This will burst out of here. And I think it's going to be to the downside, frankly. I don't know when that's going to be honest. And it is a mess. The entire chart is a mess. and very, very difficult to predict. But that big bear bar to me, and there's a big one here as well, and there's a big one here as well, and there's a big one here as well. It's telling me that this is potentially going to the short side. If you look at the big picture, then it's been doing that for quite some time. And if you use your imagination just a little bit, there's a head and shoulders sitting there as well, which was broken and retested here. That's also a very bearish sign. We've taken a hell of a long time, I've got to say, to get down here. And every single time that we do, we reject that level. But I think we're going to have another crack at it. And I'm on the bear side at this point in time. I've even got a position in the market at the moment. It's trading that big bar with a retest of the pivots that we saw a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago now. So I'm short underneath that bar if we get to that level. If we don't, then it doesn't really matter. If it breaks to the high side, who cares? But I think if we go to this level again, then we're headed down in this direction. So it's dolly, and it's more of a long-term play, but I've still got on the daily chart that trade in and I won't cancel that, frankly, until it's broken to the high side or the downside, either way. But this candle's got to break at some stage, and when it does, I think it'll break with a fair bit of venom. And at the moment, I think that's to the downside. It could take a month, but that's the way I see it. So that's it, mates. They're the four. Swissy yen, short. They're all short. EUROCAD, Euro Swiss, and dollar yen, all short. And hopefully I got 0 from 4 last week in terms of direction. Let's hope I can improve on that.
Mate, the good point, of course, is when you get 0 from 4 for direction on your strategy, you don't take any trades, you don't lose any money, or very few. Yep. So it's not the end of the world, right?
That's the plan, yeah.
So summary, guys, we are talking about, I think we're talking about some short-term dollar strength from a number of our people. I think perhaps some dollar weakness long-term, but short-term dollar strength. Could see stock markets continuing to sell a little bit. Could see gold holding around this level. We are, there's a few of us looking for buyers in gold, but we need price action to confirm all the stuff at the moment. It is we've got the Fed coming out early Thursday morning, I think it is New Zealand time. And as a time this week, we just need to watch and we need to wait for confirmations. Where's the cable? Where's cable going to go? Boy, this Brexit stuff's knocking out all over the place. It could go a long way in either direction in the next few days. And it's just a time for caution. It's a time, there's a time in trading to make your money, and there's a time in trading to not lose your money. And this is a week about not losing your money. It's about if you get the right opportunity, you take the right opportunity, but let it complete. Be positive, be sure before you take your money. If you're looking to subscribe to the YouTube channel, there's a small ATW box in the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that and subscribe now. Will open up and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you do that, that will keep you updated on the shows for the week. Coming up this week at Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we've got Shukri on cryptocurrency. 7:45 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got Chloe in Orlando on tea and hot sauce. 8:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got Geoff and Ash on Learn to Trade live US session preview. Lots of free content. We've also got Geoff and Ash at 5 to 3 in the afternoon, Singapore, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as well on Learn to Trade UK session live. So a huge amount of free stuff coming to you this week for the mentorship students. I did forget to talk to Ainslie about that. We've got an hour. I've got a couple of hours with Ainslie and Julian on Sunday next week. The week after, we've got the free stuff with Shukri. The flow is coming back with Mikey on Sunday for the EURCHF clients. It's a busy old time. Can I have a quiet wine tonight, Geoff?
No, probably not, mate.
Cheers, everyone. It's a simple thing in trading. It never changes. Make good decisions this week. Take your time, be careful, and trade well. And we will talk to you again. I'll be back next Sunday with the team for this show. And as I said, there's plenty of content coming to you all week live from the team. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so that when we bring you live content, it comes out. We've got a couple of extra freebies coming in this week as well. We will just be running a couple of free shows, but they will be just live. You'll need to be subscribed to the channel to see them. Thank you, Geoff. Thank you to the rest of the people who helped us out today, particularly Ainslie in the middle of that move. That must be a busy old time. Lloyd, Geoff, Shukri, Alexis, Julian, your contribution is all much appreciated, guys. I hope I didn't miss anyone out. Did I miss anyone out, Geoff?
I don't think so, mate. No, I'm laughing at the comments. Sorry.
That's okay. We will. We will see you guys next week. Take care. See you.